Hamashiach Spalal, the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Kwadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahawa, Malakwathka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Bashmayam, Nathanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatyanawa, Kasalasayawan, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Ba'asham, Amashiach, Yahawashai, Tawara, Aman.
In Matthew 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our debts as we forgive our debtors. And the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will give your trespasses. Bahashem Mashiach Yahushai, Tawarat Yad. Amen.
Aman. Yashabiam, be seated.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to all Akim logging in online. Shabbat Shalom, Sabbath in peace. Shabbat Ba Shalom, Sabbath in peace. To all the Akim Wakwathiam, the Mishpakath, the family, brothers and sisters, everybody logged in. Friday class. We got Elder Lapalau, and you got Elder Bishop Lapalau, let me say it right. And we have Chief Priest, Chief Minister Shalama tonight.
Kan. Right, we're gonna. A couple of weeks ago, the brother started the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel's, the first 4 chapters of the book of Samuel's, and we're gonna continue today in chapter 5. Shabbat Shalom Yasharala. Through the 4 corners of the earth. We are the Lord of Zion, located on there. If you're in the area, come by. If you're of Hebrew Israelite lineage,
That's right.
I'm saying congregate with the Most High's people.
No Edomites in here. No Moabites, no Jebusites, no Hittites. If you are Israelite born, you are welcome to the light of Zion. Hallelujah.
God. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had the summit. We hosted a summit down there in South Florida, where all the camps, where a few camps, several camps rather, throughout the nation came together and hold a convocation in congregation, in unity, in brotherhood, sisterhood. You praise to the Most High. I mean, straighten each other.
That's right.
Get ourselves prepared for the return of the Mashiach Yahushai.
How much brothers and sisters you think came through to that?
It's quite a few hundreds over those different days.
Yeah, I think it's about maybe 3. I know we went over about 400 brothers, man.
God.
Weekend. All right, so we're gonna continue in that spirit of unity, in that spirit of Ephesians, Psalms 133. We're gonna continue in that same spirit. All right, so we're gonna crack it open. I'm gonna get Colossians 3 verse 17. Giving all praise to the Most High in the name of the Mashiach Yahushua. Colossians 3 verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High Yahweh and the Father by Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right. Whatever you do in word or deed, mean what? Whatever you say or whatever you actually do, whatever action you take, make sure they're in accordance with the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments as per the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua. Always got to be consistent with the protocol that they establish, and not deviate from that, and conform to the ways of the world. Okay. So we're going to start off with book of 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 1.
All right, 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 1. And the Philistines took the ark of Yahweh and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod.
Right. So This goes back to the time, when we first came out of Egypt, into the homeland, leading up to the start of David's rulership. There was a lot of confrontation. The Philistines was one of our main rivals, adversaries, enemies. We had a lot of hostile confrontation with the Philistines. They were like a thorn in our side, man, the Philistines. They were relentless in attacking Israel, and they wouldn't let up. And those Philistines are from what the lineage of Ham, which our people got themselves confused with, because we have the same complexion,
Right.
but they were different and from us, and they waged many wars against our people. To the tie. The Ark of the Most High, only one tribe of the nation of Israel was supposed to touch the ark.
Even touch it. Come on.
The other 11 tribes, besides the Levites, could not touch the ark and live. The Ark of the Covenant. Let's read on and see what happened after that.
Verse 2. When the Philistines took the ark of Yahweh, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon.
Dagon, that's their God.
Come on.
They took the Most High, the Ark of the Covenant that he gave to Israel, and brought it and put it beside their God. The audacity of these people, these heathens, man. Can you imagine the smoke coming of the Most High's nostril at that time? The anger.
Desecrating the ark, man. Putting it by an idol.
I'm saying,
in front of an idol.
Bold. And they knew they were wrong for that, but hey, that's how bold it was. Read on.
Verse 3. And when they of Ashdod arose early of the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Most High.
See that? The Most High wasn't having that. Dagon was like a statue that brought the ark of the Most High and put it beside Dagon. And when they woke up the next day, what happened? Dagon fell off the damn that pinnacle that they put him on.
That's right. Most High knocked the statue over. All right, he's knocked it over. Dagon was standing there when they put the ark. When everybody left, Most High knocked that Dagon statue over. It's like he's going to knock down a lot of these idols that these nations have set up. All right. Read verse 3 again. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Most High.
It was fallen upon his face. Meaning what? You have to bow down to the Most High. Just like all these nations are going to bow down to Israel.
That's right.
Idols that they put up, so like their gods, they and their idols are going to bow down to the Most High. Right?
And they took Dagon and set him in his place again.
They were relentless, man. Then they had to know that was no accident, because I'm pretty sure that God concealed up and placed it up correctly, and it fell down right before the ark on his face. But these guys were determined to worship their idols. So what did they do? Set it up again.
It's kind of like Esau. He knows his kingdom is finished, but he keep propping it up as if it's okay.
Right.
Okay? He always try to make things seem like it's better than it is. But yeah, the fear was in them. When they came and saw Dagon laying on the face, I know they looked at you got a big statue. It's laying down in front of the ark. Like,
or did it fall down? Yeah. Telling you.
Verse 4. And when they arose early upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Most High, and his head and the head of Dagon, and both were cut off upon the threshing floor, the threshold. Sorry. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him.
Right. And after Dagon up the second time, what happened? The next day, the hands were cut off. Dagon was on his face again. His hands, the palm of his hand were cut off. From the field, only the stump of Dagon was left to him.
Right, so the head And the hand, and his
Yeah.
hands was cut off.
The head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off.
Mhm.
Who did that? Nobody did that. That came in coincidence. And I'm pretty sure it was a neat cut. It was,
Mhm.
You know when something falls off accidentally?
Yeah.
Guess, you know what I'm saying? They're just random cut off, you know what I mean? But just, I'm sure it was a neat cut.
No,
The Most High-
those was chopped off.
the Most High was a neat cut that the Most High, I mean, applied to that statue. To give them an idea that, hey, this is an accident. This is a higher power. Show them that your God ain't no real God.
Right. And that shows you what type of statue it was too. It was a statue of some sort of man because it got palms,
Right.
it had a head,
Mhm.
it had a body.
Mhm.
So it shows you that it was something just like when you see these idols today from these nations.
Right.
They always make it out to be some sort of person or half person, half
Mhm.
animal type creature. So the hands off. He sure probably was showing his palms, like a lot of those.
For the churches and Catholic churches and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
The Most High is doing a work here. All right, verse 5. Therefore, neither the priests of Dagon nor any that come into Dagon's house this day.
Yeah, they got the message.
Yeah.
They got the message this time. They say, hey, yo, this ain't an accident. This is a higher power doing this. So our head and our arms got cut off.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
The warning was made. The warning was shot. Right. So the Most High warned them by taking the head and the hands off of
Mhm.
Dagon. Right. Verse 6. But the hand of the Most High was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them and smote them with emeralds.
Right. But the Most High wasn't done with them yet.
No.
The Moses said, you guys have the nerve to take the ark that I gave to my chosen nation and put it in front of your idols, who idols just finished destroying. I'm going to teach you a lesson. You got to pay for that. You're not going to go unpunished for that.
Mm-hmm.
So the Most High, destroyed many of those Philistines in Ashdod. Smote them with emeralds. You know what emeralds is? It's like it's boils that that sores and boils that you're behind, basically. Make it hard for you to sit down. You know?
Verse 7. And when the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, the ark of Yahweh, the power of Israel, shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore upon us and upon Dagon our God.
Yeah. And when the men of Ashdod saw that, he said, the ark of the power of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore. That's a pun right there.
Yeah.
It's sore. The Most High is sore, meaning what? The Most High, the emeralds were sore upon the behind, literally. The Most High, the power of Israel, set it next to their idol. Read.
Verse 8. They sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines unto them and said, what shall we do? Let the ark of the power of Israel be carried about unto Gath. And they carried the ark of the power of Israel unto thither.
See that?
About thither, yeah.
They decided they're not going to keep the ark of the covenant because the ark of the Most High, because they saw what the Most High did to them by having the nerve to keep the ark. But they didn't want to return the ark to Israel.
Right.
So they decided, the laws said, I took counsel together. So you know what? Let's bring it somewhere else. We're not going to give it to the Israelites because we know that's their power.
Right.
And we don't want to return them back to their strength. Because if we return them to their strength, then what? Then they're gonna defeat us.
That's right.
Or contend with us. And that's what's happening right now in our community. We see our enemies run about. They do everything they possibly can to not bring us to our strength. Every political decision they make, every economical decision they make, military and otherwise, they always do that in the context of weakening our people.
Mm-hmm.
They always try to, they would go all over the earth to strengthen other nation to talk about the fighting, injustice, democracy, the fighting against, opposing those,
They call it humanity.
I'm saying
the humanity works.
all right, but
When it comes to our people,
we look at the way they treat our people right in their backyard, their neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they're strengthening us. They know what if we return to full strength, then what? We're going to oppose them and take them off their seat of superiority. And they don't want that. That's exactly what the Philistines are doing. They're not going to return the ark to the Israelites. They can't keep it, but they're not going to return it to us.
right?
So they're going to take it someplace here and see what happens. Read.
Verse 9. And it was so that after they had carried it about, the hand of the Most High was against the city with a very great destruction. And he smote the men of the city, both small and great. And they had emeralds in their secret parts.
Wow. They had emeralds in the secret parts. Damn, yo.
The Most High was jacking them up, man.
Most of them jacking up them heathens, man. Taking the ark to another city. Oh, we're not going to give it to the Israelites, but we're going to take it to Gath.
Today they call your secret parts your private parts.
Right.
Right? So you had emeralds in your private parts. You was jacked up real bad, man.
There's a higher degree of herpes right there.
That's a high degree of
herpes ain't nothing compared to that.
Ain't got nothing on this side.
Oh.
He smote them with disease. That's showing disease come from the Most High, man. God. A lot of people now today, everybody talking about this coronavirus, where it come from. God. It coming from the Most High.
God.
Right? They trying to find what reason. Put some lady in California, she just come up with the coronavirus. Says she wasn't in contact with nothing from China.
Right.
And she just got it. And the doctors and everybody trying to figure out how she get it.
Oh, right.
They have
no idea.
The Most High smote with it. He's always trying to deny his science, thinking he know. Listen, the Most High smote y'all with this coronavirus, man. Mm-hmm. Just like they smote, the Most High used these emeralds against Ashdod and against all of them that was messing with the ark. So the Most High, he moved with diseases, man.
God.
Right? People don't want to admit that, man. It's the Most High is smoting China, smoting Italy, smoting what I saw. What else I saw was getting hit? I think India.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, India. He smote them with this coronavirus, man. That coming from the Most High, man. We have the documents here showing that the Most High used disease when he want to bring judgment.
Gun.
All right. And their gods. They calling their gods now. Where's Buddha now? Why Buddha won't bless you?
Con.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
Why Buddha ain't blessing you and take it away over there in India? So this is the work of the Most High, man. All right, we're gonna keep it going, man. Verse 10. Therefore, they sent the ark of the Most High to Ekron,
another city.
Yep. And it came to pass as the ark of the Most High came to Ekron.
We don't want this. We don't want this ark here. We heard it happen in Ashdod, and then that other city in Gath.
That's right.
We don't want that to happen here. Yeah, we don't want a virus over here.
The Equinite.
Don't bring your ship here like in Jamaica, different parts. Normally Jamaica would welcome a ship docking up in the bay. Or the tourists money coming in. Jamaica's hello.
Close the dock.
We need the money.
We good. Keep that ship moving.
You know what I'm saying?
Shut down the cruise ships, man, from entering Jamaica.
Yeah.
They said, nah, we don't want none of that corona, man.
Yo. That's why these people in Ekron are saying. This Ekronites cried out.
Yeah, the Ekronites cried out, man. Saying
don't
what?
Bring that ark.
They have brought about the ark of the God of Israel onto us to slay us and our people.
Because they just say what out. All those people got destroyed by the Most High. They said, nah, we don't want that here. keep that ark moving.
Verse 11. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said, send away the ark of the power of Israel, that it slay us not and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of Yahweh was very heavy there.
Right. So the rulers, the lords, as they call them, came together and said, hey, you know what? Let's have this council here and see what we need to do. And they decided, well, we're not going to keep this ark here because the God of Israel have been very heavy, very destructive to our people through our cities. So return this ark back to the Israelites. Read.
Okay. Let's start chapter 11, verse 11 again.
Okay.
1 Samuel chapter 5, verse 11. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said, send away the ark of the power of Israel and let it go again to its own place, that it slay us not and our people, for there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of Yahweh was very heavy there, and the men that died not were smitten.
I wonder which one got off easier, the ones who died or the ones who got hemorrhoids.
Man,
and the men that died not were smitten with the hemorrhoids in the private parts, the secret parts.
hemorrhoids sound terrible, man. You know, like smallpox or something. You know what I mean? That type of disease where you got these boils all over your skin, man, in your private parts, man. Most I ain't playing, man. You messing with the Ark of the Covenant, man. That's a holy item from amongst our people, man. You're not going to desecrate that. Most I wasn't having that, right? So now today, when Esau and these and what's his name is it Ethiopia that be claiming that they got the Ark?
Yeah, they
ain't got no Ark,
the so-called Coptic Church of Ethiopia.
Catholic Church, you'd have hemorrhoids in your private parts, man. So you don't have the Ark. According to the scripture, Jeremiah hid the ark, and nobody's going to get the ark to the most Hamashiach Yahweh Shai's return on this earth.
Let's get that.
Let's get it. Okay, come.
So then we're not making this up.
Right.
The second Maccabee was 2 and 3, 2 and 2, something like that.
Okay, hold on.
Something like that.
Second Maccabees 2. I'll start with verse 1. Second Maccabees 2, verse 1.
This is documented. This is not a fairy tale.
Right.
Right. Right on.
That Jeremy, which is Jeremiah, the prophet, commanded them that were carried away to take of the fire that as it hath been signified, and how that the prophet, having given them the law, charged them not to forget the commandments of the Most High. Because
Jeremiah, this was during the time of the Babylonian, rulership, when they was ruling over Israel, and when they were destroying our temple. I'm going to talking about 586 or so BC. Understand that? And our temple being destroyed, there was no place for the ark to be situated. So the Most High gave Jeremiah instruction of what he should do with the ark of the covenant. Read.
And that they should not err in their minds when they see images of silver and gold with their ornaments.
Right. So Jeremiah was reminding our people, the Israelites, to not follow the ways of the nations and worship idols, but stay fast to keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
And with other such speeches exhorted he them that the law should not depart from their heart.
Right. The law should not depart from your heart. Not back then, not now. Even the Mashiach Yahweh Shai told him that during his time and when he walked on earth. That's right. That the laws, not one tittle or one jot shall depart from the law.
That's right.
Read on.
Verse 4. It was also contained in the same writing.
In the same writing, it was also
warned of Yahweh.
Right. The Most High warned the prophet Jeremiah. Read on.
Commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him.
Jeremiah, remember, he's of the tribe of Levi.
Right.
So he had their permission and the authority to actually take possession, touch the ark and so on, and transport it literally, and actually move it around without any
where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of the Most High.
Right. So that mountain was, I think, Mount Nebo, and in the Moabite location, the Moabite just looking in the land of Moab, overlooking Israel. Read on.
And when Jeremiah came thither, he found a hollow cave, wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door.
Right. So Jeremiah went up to Mount Nebo in the territories of Moab, and that's where he found a hollow cave. That's where he laid the ark, the tabernacle, and the ark, and the altar of incense, and blocked up the door of the cave. Read.
And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it.
Yeah, there are people trying to find a way so they could go back and maybe retrieve the ark for their own personal purposes. But the Most High blinded them, not literally blinded them, but confused them so they weren't able to locate that ark again. Read.
Which when Jeremiah perceived,
when Jeremiah saw that, that's so what they were up to. What are you guys trying to find out where the ark is? Read on.
He blamed them, saying,
You rebuked them.
As for that place, it shall be unknown.
Where the ark was placed by the prophet Jeremiah. Read.
Until the time that Yahweh gathereth his people again together and receive them unto mercy.
So the ark, the location of the ark of the covenant shall remain unknown until the Most High gather his people again together. It hasn't happened yet.
No.
The Most High hasn't gathered his people and received them back unto mercy yet. No, we're still here in tribulation, captivity of the Mashiach Yahushai. But that gathering of the people hasn't happened yet. And until that happens, the location of the ark shall remain unknown. So anyone or any nation, regardless of what stature they put themselves on, what level they claim to be,
they're lying.
They're lying. Straight up lying.
That's all they do. They lying.
They're lying.
You know what I mean? Esau make movies, Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know what I mean? Call it the Lost Ark. The ark ain't lost.
Yeah,
it's
lost.
Exactly where the Most High put it.
Exactly. We don't know where it is. Go on.
But these nations want to have everything, man. They want everything. They want their guys, their possessions, and they want our possessions too. But the Most High is not mocked, man. They're not going to get the ark. They don't know where the ark is. They don't have the ark. Anybody claiming to have the ark, they lying. Okay, the Philistine Jews, some of them claim to be lost tribe of Israel, saying they got the ark. You lying, because those that was following Jeremiah, they were Israelites that marked the way. So it doesn't matter if you're Israelite or not. No one is going to get the ark until we back in our kingdom. Thus saith the Most High.
Right.
We're going to pick it up with 1 Samuel 6, verse 1.
God.
And the ark of the Most High.
Come back to the time of the Philistines, which was long before the time of the prophet Jeremiah. We just refer to the prophet Jeremiah's Arab time to let you know, kind of fast forward, that and no one knows where the ark is at this present time. Right. Read on.
And the Philistines called for the priests and for the diviners, saying, What shall we do to the ark of the Most High? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to its place.
Yeah, so they're still having counsel as to what they should do with the Ark of the Covenant. Where they should put it, they should send it, because they know that if they keep it, it's going to be the continual ruin and destruction. Right?
Verse 3. And they said, If ye send away the ark of the power of Israel, send it not empty.
Send it not empty. What are you going to send it with? Read on.
But in any wise return him a trespass offering, that ye shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you.
Wow. So this may be an indication that these Philistines realize that, yeah, the God of Israel is the only power.
That's right.
And the public, they say what? When you send the ark back to its owner, don't send it back empty. Send a peace offering, like this, like in what, like an apology. We were wrong for taking the ark of the covenant. Maybe that's an indication of what the Philistines were doing. And it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you.
Right. That's the spirit of the Most High. You just can't say, my bad. I'm sorry with the Most High. You have to bring some sort of oblation, some sort of work, what do they call it? Fruit of repentance. Mm-hmm. Right? So, or else the judgment's still going to be on you. All right, so they needed to bring something. He said, "Don't just send it back by itself. You better take some offerings and bring that with it. Hopefully, the Most High receive your offering, right? Your apology offerings. Okay.
They probably consulted with some Israelites and said, "Well, what should we do to please your power? That's to get them off for a case?"
That's right.
And the Israelites let them know, you can't. You have to repent. You have to show express contrition.
That's right.
And ask for forgiveness because that was a major violation that you did. All right.
Then said they, what shall be the trespass offering which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden emerods and 5 golden mice, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines. For to one plague was on you all and on your lords.
Wow. 5 golden emerods and 5 golden mice. 5 golden emerods and 5 golden mice according to the number of the lords of the Philistines. So let's say, there's 5, either 5 or 10 lords.
So that the emerods is a representation of what the Most High did to them. Mm. So they said they're going to make an image of it, right? Mm. And the mice is a representation of the lords. Them hungry like rodents, you know what I mean? Right. So it's a symbolism, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So they showing the Most High, we know these emerods came from you, right? Mm. And we know we're nothing but like rodents before you. You know what I mean? Mm. So they're humbling themselves, spoken of their humility and praying for mercy.
God.
Verse 5. Wherefore ye shall make images of your emerods and images of your mice that mar the land, and ye shall give glory unto Yahweh, power of Israel. Peradventure we will lighten his hand from off you, and from off your gods, and from off your land. Shalom. Wherefore then do ye harden your hearts, as the Egyptians and Pharaoh hardened their hearts, when he had wrought wonderful among them? Did they not let the people go, and they departed?
Yes. So they know the history of Israel.
So don't harden your
hearts. I know how I know how the Most High plagued those Egyptians. Yep. for for enslaving our people, and the Most High plagued those Egyptians. So this is what when you harden your heart like the Egyptians, do you want to receive the same consequence?
Exactly.
That the Egyptians received? We don't want to go. Came to their senses and soften their hearts and release the Israelites. Mm-hmm. That's what we need to do. That's what the Philistines were saying to
That's what their diviners and their priests was giving them good instruction. He said, y'all better humble yourselves, man. Don't be like the Egyptians. You seen what the Most High did to them. So the Philistines, priests and diviners understoodly humble themselves and give back what they have taken. So we're at 1 Samuel 6 and verse 7 now. 1 Samuel 6 and verse 7. Now therefore make a new chart.
New card.
And now therefore make a new cart and take two was that Melech kine, of which there hath come hind to the cart, and bring the calf home from them.
Yes, I guess that probably like
Some sort of
sometime if like maybe
cattle
like
or something.
yes, yeah, exactly.
Mhm. And take the ark of the Most High.
So and they were careful to say on which there come no yoke.
Mhm.
So they were careful what kind there was going to not. That's what, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it can't even just be any cattle.
You're right. So
nothing that's been pulling the plow or anything.
Right.
Has to be some that's not being used for nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Verse 8. And take the ark of the Most High and lay it upon the cart, and put the jewels of gold which ye return him for a trespass offering in a coffer by the side thereof, and send it away that it may go.
Right. So get this cart with the milk kind, put in it, and put on the juice, and put in the cart and send it away that it may go.
Verse 9. And see if it goeth up to the way of his own coast of Beth Shemesh. Then he hath done us this great evil. But if not, then we shall know that it is not his hand that smote us. It was a chance that happened to us.
Right. So they knew that the Most High was real, but now they're trying to second guess whether or not it was really the Most High who plagued them. So they were saying, send this cart pulled by the milk kind, and see where it goes.
Right. See where
If it goes towards Israel, then they know, hey, it was the Most High who plagued us. If not, then they know, hey, it was just some kind of coincidence that we got demolished, destroyed in those various cities with the emeralds. Yeah.
Right. So what are they doing right here? They're casting lots.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's something that we did often in time past, and not just us, but the nations would cast lots to try to figure out why things are happening. You know what I mean? They would say, well, if it goes this way, that means that it was the Most High. If it goes that way, that means it was just a chance that happened to us, and it wasn't specifically because of this ark.
Right.
So they wanted to go through a bit of a casting lots to make that determination. But like we were bringing out before, I said, man, the Most High bring disease, man. You know what I mean? He bring disease. They're gonna find out that it was the hand of the Most High, because and like these nations now trying to figure out this coronavirus. It's the Most High, man. The Most High, he brings disease, just like he brought them hemorrhoids on these. He bringing a coronavirus on all these nations, man.
Yeah, it's a good thing. This coronavirus is a good thing. It's a blessing. We better keep an eye on this thing, because when we read the book of Revelation, on those plagues that the Most High was going to plague the earth with, and waiting for them to repent, and after the certain people were destroyed, because I don't see anything else, of any magnitude, in a kind of pandemic that we can relate to what's the book. Keep an eye on this and see how this plays out. So this gives us an idea of what time.
The scriptures say covered to prophecy, man. Covered to prophecy, man. Look for the prophecies to come to pass. So we see things like this, everybody wanting to buy paper masks. Listen, that paper mask ain't gonna save you, man. If you're supposed to get the corona, you're gonna get it. Right? I don't care how much paper you put on your face. People get a paper with four rubber bands is gonna save your life. It ain't gonna save your life, man. People running now. They say at Home Depot you can't even buy a dust mask.
Sold out.
Sold out. Sold out.
I'm pretty sure the
I was
prices
in
got jacked up.
Walmart. I was in a Walmart today. This Indian dude was asking the lady behind the counter in the hardware aisle. He says, "Not over there." What he said, "We ain't got nothing there." Right. So all these nations running for dust masks, like it's going to stop them from getting it. If the Most High want to smote you with the corona, consider yourself smoked, right? Consider yourself smoked. Like that, I was bringing up earlier that lady in California. They can't figure out how she ended up with the coronavirus. She ain't been to China. She ain't been next to nobody that been to China. She ain't been around nobody that got the virus. She just showed up with it. Most likely, right? But he's always trying to find some sort of scientific way. Ain't no scientific way. All right, ain't no scientific way. When the Most High brought the plagues on Egypt, they didn't go to Goshen. They didn't go to Goshen. You know what I'm saying? Right? It'll go on this. You ever see when they had like them this house, skip this one, hit that one, skip this one, hit these 4 over here, and wipe all the rest of them out, and there'd be 3 houses left. It's the Most High. What made the storm do that? The Most High. He does things with he shows his power. That's different ways the Most High show you that he's in control. And he has the power. So we just gotta, humble ourselves and know that's what the case is. So right here, these men, they got the ark. They're trying to get it out of their hands, trying to get the Most High's vengeance off of them. So right now, we're going to pick it up with verse 12, right?
Okay, all right, you can read on.
Maybe verse 12, yeah. Verse 12. And the kind took straightway to the way of Beth Shadash along the highway, lowing as they went, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left. And the lords of the Philistines went after them unto the border of Beth Shemesh. And they of Beth Shemesh were
reaping their wheat harvest.
Yeah, they were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley. And they lifted up their eyes and saw the ark and rejoiced to see it.
Right. So I guess the Philistines were disappointed because they saw the ark, the cart went straight to Beth Shemesh. Understand? And the people of Beth Shemesh were reaping the wheat harvest. And when they saw the ark, it's the ark came back to us. Because when the ark had left, that it's like, the soul sank, man. Like, there was a heaviness upon the ark. So they were very happy to see the ark come back to them, because they know that they have a direct communication with the Most High. The direct communication with the Most High is restored. Read.
And you understand when you see the word Beth, so it says Beth Shemeth, as in Shem. The name of the Most High. So this ark, these cattle was bringing the ark back to the house of the name of the Most High. It went straight to Beth Shemesh. All right. So these animals, they knew, they got orders from the Most High where this ark must go, and they followed, and they did not turn to the right nor the left. They went straightway. Verse 14. And the cart came onto the field of Joshua, a Bethshemite, and stood there, where there was a great stone, and they clave the wood of the cart, and offered the kind a burnt offering unto the Most High. So that show you that the kind had to be a bullock.
Right.
Some sort of bullock or ram, because
you had to be a clean animal.
It had to be a certain kind of clean animal.
Right.
Because only certain clean animals were able to be sacrificed and offered to the Most High. So that kind of let us know that those kind had to be some sort of cow. You know what I mean? Some sort of bull or cow. Or, The Levites took down the ark of the Most High and the coffer that was with it. And within the jewels of gold were, and put them on the great stone. And the men of Beth Shemesh offered burnt offerings and sacrifices the same day unto Yahweh. And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron, the same day.
Right. So the 5 lords of the Philistines saw, yeah, these plagues did come from the Most High.
Yeah.
Because we can see the kind brought the cart straight to Beth Shemesh, to the Israelites. And we saw the Israelites, what they did, how the Levites took down the ark, and how they sacrificed those kind unto the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
So they were convinced. So the 5 lords returned back to the Philistines, to the people, to give a report. Yeah. The Israelites are the Most High chosen people. Their power is the only power there is.
Right.
He was the one who plagued us with those hemorrhoids in all of our cities.
Right. So there's no need to be wondering why we're going through this anymore. We got confirmation. It was the power of Israel that brought these hemorrhoids among us. So they got their full confirmation at that point. Verse 17. And these are the golden hemorrhoids which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering unto Yahweh. For Ashdod 1, and for Gaza 1, and for Ashkelon 1, and for Gath 1, and for Ekron 1. And the golden mice, according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both of fenced cities and of the country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, whereon they sat down the ark of the Most High, which stone remaineth unto this day in the field of Joshua the Beth Shemesh, because they had looked into the ark of the Most High. Even he smote the people 50,000 and 310 men, and the people of the people with a great slaughter.
Wow, look at that. The Most High even slaughtered the Israelites because they ventured the Levites only were supposed to touch the ark, but other tribes they were too curious. They went too far into trying to interact with the ark, trying to in proximity to the ark.
What would happen here? The Levites, yes, they can move the ark and set it up, but they're not supposed to open it. The scripture said they looked into the ark of the Most High. I think they opened the ark, and they only could open it when they're told they can open it. If you remember, any past time we opened the ark, we were told to open it. Right. When the mercy seat is upon the ark, we're not supposed to open it. Even the Levites is not supposed to open it. Unless they go to take. But what's inside the ark of the covenant? Who knows? You know what's inside the ark? You got 2 out of 3. That's the third one. Malachi, what's in the ark? Right? Aaron's staff, that's right. That budded. Come. 10 Commandments. What else is in there? It kind of has something to do with David, but it was way before David. But it has something to do with David. I can give it to you. The showbread. The showbread. There's a piece of the showbread. No, manna. Manna, not showbread. The manna. There's a piece of manna. Right? But showbread is a representation of manna. But it was manna in the ark. A piece of manna. The staff and the 10 Commandments tablets. So they wasn't supposed to open that at any time. Right? They weren't supposed to open that at any time. But they did look inside, and the Most High brought judgment on them quick. So, so the Most High brings judgment on his own people like this. Imagine what he did to the other nations. Right? This is what he did to the Israelites. Right? So I'll pick it up with verse 20. And the men of Beth Shemesh said, who is able to stand before the holy power Yahweh? And to whom shall he go up from us? Right? And they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kajath Jerim, saying, the Philistines have brought again the ark of Yahweh. Come ye down and fetch it up to
Keep the ark either. They saw the most I killed 53,000 of or so of the Israelites. So the Most High said the ark again. Come and get it. We don't want to take. We don't want to look at the ark the wrong way and get and be plagued by the Most High. So even the Israelites were very concerned about the seriousness of the Most High when it comes to the ark.
Mhm.
Because the Most High is very meticulous, very strict. He doesn't deviate from his when he gives a certain order. This is how I want it. You have to conform to it, otherwise there's going to be consequences.
Consequence, man.
All right, so we're going to go to chapter 7 now.
Chapter 7. Chapter 7, verse 1. 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 1. And the men of Kajath Jerim came and fetched up the ark of Yahweh and brought it into the house of Abinadab in the hill, and sanctified Eleazar his son to keep the ark of the Most High. And it came to pass, while the ark abode in Kirjath Jearim, that the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Yahweh. And Samuel spake unto you, return unto Yahweh with all your hearts, then put away the strange gods of Ashtaroth from among you, and prepare your hearts unto he will deliver you out of the hand of the Philistines.
Right. So even though the ark had been returned to the Israelites, the Philistines were still giving them hell. 20 years, Israel, man. They saw what the Most High did to the Philistines, and what the Most High did to Israel when they were looking to the ark, inside of the ark, but they still want to hold on to their idols.
You see?
And the prophet Samuel said, what are you crying about? You know what you need to do. Put away the gods of Ashtaroth. Put away the fake gods of the Philistines, and he will take your enemies off of you. But for some reason, the problem with it is we want to conform. We want to conform to the ways of the other nation. We want to be, like everything's like a popularity contest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we don't want to be our own people. We want to, we want to be like the other nations. So we're so curious as to how things are on the other side, how things are with them. So we took the gods unto us, even though we saw the power of our own power of the Most High. All right.
Verse 4. Then the children of Israel did wrath and served the Most High only. And Samuel said, gather all Yasharallah to Mizpah, and I will pray for you unto the Most High. And they gathered together to Mishpah, and drew water and poured it out before Yahweh, and fasted on that day, and said there, we have sinned against Yahweh. And Samuel judged the children of Israel in Mizpah.
Right. So Samuel was a prophet of Israel during this time. Read on.
And when the Philistines heard that the children of Israel were gathered together, went up against Israel. And when the children of Israel heard it, they were afraid of the Philistines. And the children of Israel said unto Samuel, cease not to cry unto Yahweh our power for us, that ye have saved us, that ye will save us out of the hand of the Philistines. And Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered it for a burnt offering holy unto Yahweh. And Samuel cried unto Yahweh for Israel, and Yahweh heard him.
Right. So Samuel, man, he made intercession on behalf of Israel.
Right.
When the Philistines, our enemies, man, the heart was hardened. They saw that the Most High was indeed the only power, but they were always pushing the envelope to see, maybe we can get away with this. And they saw that they had the Israelites in oppression, and they continued to oppress our people. And
You gotta do something about this.
we got to do something about this. So we got to go up and quell that and put that to rest.
Esau learned from these nations. The heathens still operate the same way. When they see us gathered together in the spirit of the Most High, they're gonna throw something in there to try to separate us, man. Try to break us up. Try to wedge something in between us. Yeah, we gotta be mindful because he knows divide and conquer is his way. Order through chaos. That's written on his dollar bill. So this is how he operates. So he got that understanding. All these heathen got the same understanding there anyway. No matter what heathen it is. Here's the Philistines. In this time we living in now is Edomites, same spirit. They know how to try to keep us away from our God. Okay. Verse 10. Chapter 7, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Offering up the burnt offerings, the Philistines drew near to battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a great thunder on the day upon the Philistines and discomfited them. And they were smitten before Yasharallah. And the men of Yasharallah went out of Mizpah and pursued the Philistines and smote them until they came unto Bethkar.
Right. So and when Samuel was offering over the burnt offering to the Most High, the Philistines, the Jew they attacked Israel, but the Most High intervened by thundering them. They was able to get the upper hand and smote them and pursue them unto Bethkar. Read on.
Verse 12. Then Samuel took a stone and set it between Mizpah and Shin, and called the name, saying, here too hath Yahweh helped us.
Right. This is the place where the Most High helped us.
Mm-hmm.
Read on. Yeah.
So the Philistines were subdued, and they came no more into the Philistines all the days of Samuel.
Right. So that was a great prophet right there, always advising the Israelites righteously.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? Put away those idols. Put away the idols of Ashtaroth and Baalim and all that. And serve the Most High holy. Understand? And they send up sacrifices to the Most High. And when the enemies attacked us, when the Philistines attacked us, the Most High intervened, strengthened Israel, military enemies of the earth, to discomfit on our enemy, the Philistines. And when Israel got strong and pursued them, then the Philistines then realized, we can't fight. We know that these people are the Most High's people. Their God is a true God. We're not going to go up against them anymore. That's the decision they made through the time of Samuel. All right.
Verse 14. 1 Samuel 7, verse 14. And the cities which the Philistines had, from Ekron unto Gath, and the coast thereof, and there was peace between Israel and the Ammonites.
The Most High strengthened Israel to defeat a strong superpower like the Philistines. They were willing to make peace with Israel. And the Philistines, of course, are restored certain cities that their previously taken from the Israelites.
All the days of his life. And he went from year to year in circuit and judged Israel in all those places. And his return was to Ramah, for there was his house, and there he judged Israel, right? And there he built an altar unto Yahweh.
Right. Samuel judged Israel all the days of his life, and he went from there in circuit to Bethel and Gilgal and Mizpeh, and judged Israel in all those places. So Samuel was very busy. He wasn't in just one location.
Right.
He made his presence known throughout all the land of Ramah, for there was his house. That's where he actually lived. And there he judged Israel. And there he built an altar unto the Most High. Right, but he had his own location where he lived as a base, so to speak. but he moved around, to advance territories. Right?
Samuel was a very significant leader in Israel at this time. Samuel he just wasn't anybody. So when he spoke, it was the word of the Most High. The Most High used Samuel to bring his judgments, to bring his wisdom to the people. So like Samuel, all right. So we're gonna do chapter 8 also. You want to do chapter 8?
Yeah. Let's wrap it up with chapter 8.
Okay. Let's do chapter 8. And it came to pass, 8 verse 1. 1 Samuel 8 verse 1. And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second Abiyah. Abiyah.
Right.
They were judges in Beersheba.
Right. So Samuel was known to be judges in Israel. Joel and Abiyah. Right?
And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment.
But his sons didn't follow in the footsteps of Samuel. They were righteous, man. They judge for their own belly's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Lucre, meaning money. They took bribes, So the rest judged.
The of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Shemuel.
So the elders of Israel said, let's go to Samuel. Right?
Unto Ramah. And said unto him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations. But the thing displeased Shemuel when they said, Give us a king to judge us. And Shemuel prayed unto the Most High.
Right. So they were using Samuel's two sons not being righteous as an excuse to request that Samuel asked the Most High to put a king over them instead of judges, because they were so enticed by the ways of the other nations and how they had kings. And it wasn't pleasing to Samuel. So Samuel went to the Most High and complained about Israel wanting to have kings as rulers instead of judges. Right?
Right. A righteous man such as Samuel, you would think his sons would be in order. But I show you that sometimes it doesn't. It's not guaranteed. If the Most High wants you to serve him, you'll serve him. If not, not. The Most High guide him in the paths of righteousness, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. And we see once you get in the Apocrypha, get Ecclesiastes. Um, 16 verse 1. Ecclesiastes, Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 16 verse 1.
Ecclesiasticus 16 verse 1. Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children,
right?
Neither delight in unrighteous sons.
Right. So Samuel didn't delight in his sons because they wasn't right. Right. It says not to desire the multitude of unprofitable children, just to have children, just to have them, but you want righteous children. Con? Let's read. Though they're children, don't even rejoice if they're not righteous. Con? Read.
Except the fear of the Most High be with them.
Right. Except the fear of the Most High be with your children, man. So we learn that. Oftentimes in this society, we just boast about how much children we got. Yeah, I got 20 children, I got 15 children. But we really, should be looking for those children that are what? Keeping the Most High laws, that's following after his way. Those are children. Read on.
Trust not thou in their life.
Neither
respect their multitude.
Come on.
For one that is just.
For what?
For one that is just.
For one child that's just, read on.
Is better than 1,000.
It's better than 1,000 children, man. You got one righteous child, it's better to have him than 1,000 children. Everybody understand that? That's how the Most High dealing with us, man. He said, better have one righteous child. Right here, Samuel had 2 sons, and they both was going off. So you know Samuel was displeased with this, man. People asking him for a king, disrespecting the man children, you know, they disrespecting themselves, right? They bringing shame onto his name. It was a bad situation here for Samuel, right? Read on.
And better it is to die without children
Better is to die without no children. Read on.
than to have them that are unrighteous.
That have them that are unrighteous, man. Right. Read on.
For by one that hath understanding shall the city be replenished.
Right. For one that have understanding, the Most High will replenish the whole city. Come on.
But the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate.
Read.
Many such things have I seen with mine eyes, and mine ear hath heard greater things than these.
Right. So these things happen. You said, I've seen it with my eyes, and my ears have heard greater things. So we want righteous children, man. Right? We want our children to do the will of the Most High, and that's. But having 1,000 children is nothing if they're not keeping the word of the Most High. Let's go back to 1 Samuel 8, and we're going to pick it up with verse 7. 1 Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people in all they say unto thee, for they have rejected thee.
No, read again.
Slakia. Oh, for they have not rejected thee. Right. Read again. And the Most High said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that reign over them.
Right. So don't worry about them, Samuel. Whatever they say, go ahead and do it. Don't take it personal. They haven't rejected you. It's me that they have rejected. In that they want to have a king ruling over them,
right?
Instead of judges whom I put up.
Because you know our nation, our government was ruled by judges that gave us the word from the Most High. We didn't have like a king per se, a man to say, yo, listen, what that man say is law. We had judges that came and said, thus saith the Most High. And that's how our nation was set up. The other nations were not like this. The other nations had kings and queens. Some of them had queens that had no king, right? Like Queen Sheba, right? She wasn't nobody's wife. She was the queen of Sheba, and there was no king. There was no husband, right? So these things are what the nations did. We didn't do these things, right? So we're going to pick it up with verse 8. According to which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me and served other gods, and so do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them.
Right. Hearken unto them. Let them know. Yeah, you're gonna grant them their wishes.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Let them know the ways that kings are really operate.
Right.
Because they may have a misconception. Because they never had a king ruling over them before. So they don't really know how kings rule. They're gonna find it for themselves. It's not what they thought it was gonna be. Read.
And Samuel told all the words of the Most High unto the people that asked of him a king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them to himself for his chariots and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariot.
Right. So the sons that you brought up that you thought was going to be there to help you build your empire. Once the king saw some kind of potential in that son, he's going to bring him into his organization to help him build his empire. Understand? For his benefit, not yours. So you Your son's loyalty is going to be to the king now, not to you.
Exactly.
You understand? So you raise up your son all these years, expending all the resources and all that to really be a son up in that IA. He's going to be there for you in your old age, but now the king saw the potential in him. He brought him into it and built up his empire. So the king got the benefit of your son at your expense.
Right?
All right.
Verse 12. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground and to reap his harvest and to make his instruments of war and his instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries and to be cooks and to be bakers.
Right. So you're gonna keep your beautiful daughters by him to be his bakers, cooks, and confectionaries.
Somebody look up that word confectionaries, but it don't sound good. So I will see what that.
It sounds enticing though. Confectionaries, like
confection, like
yeah. You're gonna be in his household as decorators, or
Verse 14. Let me know when you got confectionaries. Verse 14.
What?
Confectionaries is candy and other sweets considered.
I had a feeling it was something like that. So what are you going to do with your daughters?
It's the art of making confections, which are food items that are rich in sugar and carbohydrates. Exact definition are difficult. Bakers, confectionery, also called flour confections, include principally sweet pastries, cakes, and similar baked goods.
So your beautiful daughters is gonna be serving him basically.
Give him all his dainties, everything he likes. They're gonna provide everything he likes. He like them little chocolate, this or that. They're gonna have to make that for him because he's the king, and the king gets what he likes, right? It's kind of like in this kingdom. When you're rich and you're on top, you get whatever you want is brought to you. Who's bringing it to you? Other people's sons and daughters is bringing that to you, right? The whole cabinet is full of people's sons and daughters doing your. Okay. We see it right even today with the president, right? Everybody wants to get the president. What you need, Mr. President? Right? All these people are people's sons and daughters working for the president, getting him what he needs. Okay. So that's what he letting them know. You want a king? This is what's going to happen. Your sons and your daughters going to be laboring for that king while you be here by yourself. All right. We read on.
14, yeah.
Verse 14. And he will take your fields.
No, that's bad. He's going to take your land too.
Right.
Take your sons, your daughters, and your land. Read.
And your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. And he will take the tenth and of your vineyards and give it to his officers and to his servants. And he will take your manservant and your maidservant and your goodliest young men and your donkeys and put them to his work.
Yeah, so he's going to take your land, your maidservants and maidservants. So basically, you're going to become his servant. You're going to be even a servant to his servants. So that's how bad it's going to be. So of course, you're going to have certain people who are, closer to him than others. You got to take care of those people also at the general population expense. That's what's happening. What's going to be happening? Read on.
Verse 17. And he will take the tenth of your sheep, and he shall be, and ye shall be his servant. And ye shall cry out in that day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you. And the Most High will not hear you in that day, Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, "Nay, but we will have a king over us."
Right. So Samuel told him all the things that would have happened
All the bad
if you
things.
choose, the bad things, if you choose a king over you. And how are you going to cry into the Most High when all those things are happening, and the Most High is not gonna hear you? But they say, we don't care, Samuel. Whatever you say, man. Just give us a king. You want to be tired of this? I remember they thought it was prestigious to have a king.
Yeah.
They all guess it's a lack of faith, really, because they don't see the Most High on a daily basis, and they were interacting with the Most High. Guess what? And say, that's our leader. That's our ruler. That's why it is, anyway.
People, that's that religious mind state too, because a lot of them are based upon what? That pastor. Right? My not my pastor. My pastor said this. They don't say what the Most High said. They tell you what the pastor said. Right? Well, no, my pastor said this. Why you keep talking about your pastor or your priest? Why not talk about what the Most High said? Right? You see these things, it's in nature of man. So when we see these things in our history, we got to relate it to what we see today. And our people are still looking for that head man. That man that, our people was, when Barack Obama became president, our people was crying, laid out. Because they had someone to look at to say that's the man. Right? That's all they want. They don't want to have that belief in that Most High, that invisible power. Right? Faith is you could only have faith in something that's not seen. So we lack faith as a people. If you can see it, you need not have faith in it because it's right there. Right? But that evidence of things not seen, the hope of things, how's it go again? Hebrews 11.
Get it.
I'm misquoting it. Yeah. The substance of things, all right. Read it, man, because I'm gonna butcher it. I don't want to say it wrong. I don't want to say it wrong. All right.
Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 1.
Right, Hebrews 11 verse 1.
Now faith is the substance of things hoped for.
The faith of the substance of things hoped for.
The evidence of things not seen.
And the evidence of things not seen. Right? Our people lack faith, man. And we see historically now with Samuel, they lack faith. They need somebody to look at and say, there's my king, there's my head, there's my ruler. All right. Let's pick it up. Verse 20, right?
God.
Right, verse 20. That we also may be like all the nations.
That's the idea.
Right?
That we also may be like all the other nations. Read.
And fight our battles.
Right.
And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Most High. And the Most High said unto Samuel, hearken unto their voice, and make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, go ye every man into his city.
So, can you imagine how frustrating this was for Samuel?
Man.
Seeing what Most High, and the Most High delivered Israel from the Philistines and other nations. And after that,
Most High wasn't enough.
they want someone to go out in front of them when the battle go to battle. They want a king to go out in front of them. Who they can look at us I feel like at a certain level of prestige.
Right. Some holy man to touch them, or some holy man to guide them, or some holy man to do something. They it's a pattern with our people, man. You know what I mean? That they have that spirit upon them. Drawn to idols, man worship. But we gotta worship the Most High, man. All these fake gods, what use are they? All right. Get Psalms 96 verse 4. Psalm 96 verse 4.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For the Most High is great
Right.
and greatly to be. For the Most High is great
Right.
and greatly to be praised.
Right.
He is to be feared above all gods.
He's to be feared above all gods. But we want some idol. We want somebody to stand before us. Read on.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
All the gods of the nations idol. We want to be like their. We want a king like their kings. Well, their kings are idols. They worship man. They bow down. What do you do to what do you do to a god? How do you worship a god? You bow down, right? That's how you worship, right? The word for worship, which really means to lay out, to lay down, right? When we worship, the Hebrew word is missing me right now, but it means to lay out or lay down, lay before. So that's how you worship the Most High. We lay before, we humble ourselves to the Most High. They want a king to do that too. It's a form of a God in their mind. They want a great man. They want a great entity. They want a great image, a great statue, a great something that they could look upon and say, "Oh, look at this," right? But the Most High is greatly to be praised, man. Read on.
For all the gods of the nations are idols,
Right.
but the Most High made the heavens.
Come on.
Honor and majesty are before him.
Come on.
Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary.
Right. Strength and beauty is in his sanctuary, man. You can't get nothing more stronger, more beautiful than the power of Yahweh. Read on.
Give unto the Most High, O ye kindreds of the people. Give unto the Most High glory and strength.
Come on.
Give unto the Most High the glory due unto his name.
All right, it's due unto his name. You respect the Most High, put some respect on his name. You know? It's due to him. You know?
Bring an offering and come into his courts.
Right?
Oh, worship the Most High in beauty of holiness.
Come on.
Fear before him all the earth.
Come on.
Say unto the heathen that the Most High reigneth.
That's right.
The world also shall be established, that it shall not be removed.
Right. So say unto the heathen that the Most High reigneth, man. Right? Give me Psalms 86 and verse 11. Say unto the people, man, the Most High reigneth, man. Matter of fact, say 86 verse 6. We'll read down to 11.
Psalms 86,
right?
And attend to the voice of my supplications.
Come on.
In the day of my trouble, I will call upon thee.
Right.
For thou wilt answer me.
Come on.
Among the gods, there is none, right. O Yahweh.
There's none like unto the Almighty Yahweh. We're the only nation that the Most High is concerned with, and we want to be like the other nations. Even to this very day. Right? All the customs, we constantly fighting the customs of these other nations, trying to establish the word.
The Hebrew for worship is shakah.
Shakah. And what does it say it means?
To bow down, to depress, to bow down, prostrate oneself.
Right.
Before superior in homage, before God in worship, before false gods, before angels.
Right. Shakah.
Bow down, obedience, reverence, fall down themselves, stoop or crouch.
Exactly. So that's what they do to the kings. So they make gods out of kings. They worship kings. Right? Bow down before them, crouch down before them. Come on.
Neither are there any works like unto thy works.
Right? Come on.
All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee.
And that's a future prophecy, man. All these nations are going to worship the Most High. Most High establishes, he said he's going to establish his mountain on top of the mountains. Right? That all shall go to Zion. What is that? That's in Joel, I think. I'm going to look that up real quick. Read on.
I think Micah.
Micah.
Micah 4.
I believe. I'm going to look it up right now. Yeah, read on.
O Most High, and shall glorify thy name. For thou art great and doest wondrous things. Thou art power alone. Teach me thy way, O Yahweh, Most High. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to fear thy name.
Right. So that should be all our prayer, man. That He is our power alone. That we're not giving our strength to no other power, no other entity. We're not gonna bow down. We're not gonna pay homage. We're not gonna pay oath. We don't pledge allegiance to the flag. We don't do any of these things. Only thing we allegiance to is the Most High and His power. Hallelujah. He.
I'm sorry, Zaria 2.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what?
4 and 1.
Okay.
Micah 4 verse 1.
Micah 4:1.
Mm-hmm.
But in the last days it shall come to pass
Uh-huh.
that the mountain of the house of the Most High
Come on.
shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Right. So that's what that means. That means that the Most High is going to show that His power is above every king, every law, everything on this earth. Every philosophy that these nations are coming with. He going to establish His mountain on top of the mountains. Read on.
And it shall be exalted above the hills,
And exalted above the hills. Come on.
and people shall flow unto it.
And they all going to flow to the Most High. They ain't going to be worried about these different governments, these different entities, these different powers. They're going to be going right to the Most High. Come on.
And many nations shall come.
How many
and
nations?
say, and many nations shall come and say,
What are they going to say?
Come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Most High, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and He will teach us of His ways.
Right? So they're going to be looking to learn what? Our laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the future for this earth, man. And they said, when is it going to happen? It started what? But in the last days, right? It shall come to pass. So these are things that's going to take place in these last days, man. Right? This is going to take place, man. These nations, they're going to be like, man, listen, it's about when they start seeing the Most High giving us power, they ain't going to waste no time. They're going to be like, oh, listen, we need to be with the Hebrews, man. They got something over there. They got a power. They got a strength. Teach us of your ways. Right? Read.
And we will walk in His paths.
Come on.
For the Lord shall go forth of
The
Zion.
Lord shall go where?
Forth of
The
Zion.
Lord shall go forth of Zion. It's coming out of Zion. Come on from where you are. Come on.
And the word of the Most High from Jerusalem.
Come on.
And he shall judge among many people,
Uh-huh.
and rebuke nations afar off.
Right. He's gonna rebuke it. We're gonna be rebuking nations on the other side of the earth, man. From
Right.
Zion.
Right.
All right. We're gonna be setting everything straight on this earth from Zion. Rebuking nations afar off.
And they shall beat their swords into
They
plowshares,
shall do what?
beat their swords into plowshares,
Read.
and their spears into pruning hooks.
Come on.
Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation,
Come on.
neither shall they learn war anymore.
Why is that? Because there'll be no reason to fight. Right? You can why bother fight something you cannot possibly be? Right? You might as well just give it up. You might as well take those swords and beat them into plowshares and get to fixing the ground and get to planting something. Because there's no more fight left in you. Right? It's a lose-lose battle. Don't even try. Don't even have a military. Right? You know when an army conquers a nation, they no longer can have a military. Right? Like when America blew up Hiroshima, Nagasaki, this is why to this day Japan does not have a military. Because you've been subdued. There's no reason to fight. You can't fight us. So why spend the money on the military? That's what all these nations, they're gonna have to get rid of all their military power. They're gonna have their nation, but they ain't gonna have no fight in them. Right? It's getting feedback. Turn down that microphone. Oh, that's fine. Turn down the maze. Right? Come on.
Verse 4. But they shall sit every man under his vine,
Right.
and under his fig tree,
Come on.
and none shall make them afraid.
Right?
For the mouth of the Most High of hosts hath spoken it.
Right? For read on.
For all people will walk every one in the name of his God,
Right?
and we will walk in the name of the Most High, our power, forever and ever.
Right. So it's going to come to the day where the Most High's God is going to be above all these gods. That's why we're going to worship our Most High now, forever and ever, man. Because it's going to be set up on this earth that no rulers, man, but the will of the Most High. So it's going to be exactly reverse of what happened in Samuel's. Because the time of Samuel's, we looking to leave our God and be like them. They going to leave their gods and want to serve our power. That's what's going to happen in the future, man.
You're right in this verse right here.
Uh-huh.
This causing a confusion amongst brothers. For all people will walk every one in the name of his God. It doesn't mean that the word God means power.
Power, yeah, the leaders.
It's not talking about it. It's not talking about the idol. Because once we're in rulership, there's only going to be one power, the Most High.
That's right.
So it simply means that they're going to have their own territory, they're going to have their own land, and they're going to have their own ruler. But all of them are going to be under Israel. Understand? Sure. That's all. It seems to say that they're going to have their own ruler, but they're all going to be in subjection to Israel. It doesn't mean that they're going to have their own idol, because there ain't going to be no idol in that, especially in that day.
That's right, Con.
Understand? That's all that's talking about. When a lot of people say the word God, is they're going to be on their own God again. But the Most High is going to be on the power that every nation they're going to come to Israel for us to teach them of the Most High's ways. Understand? So they know that their ways and the idols that they used to worship were no power.
That's right.
Understand? So they simply mean that they're going to have their own territories once they are in subjection and realizing that the scripture says they're going to beat their opponent and the spears and weapons of war into pruning hooks and all that. They're going to go to farming. They're going to resort to farming instead of taking up swords against Israel.
That's all they're going to have left to do. Get some food. Get some food growing. Because there ain't going to be no time for no war. They'll spend all that military money on making some gourmet dishes for the children of Israel. All right. Just to prove that the gods were men. What's that? We are gods. Psalms 82 and 6.
Psalms 82 verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Right. So we are children of the Most High, meaning that we're men, children of the Most High, but we were gods. What does the word God mean? Authority. We say you were authorities. You had the power. You had the rulership. But we died like princes, man. Like we don't have rulership. Like we still waiting on rulership. All right. So that's part of our judgment.
Yeah, I'll get also Exodus 22 verse 28 to go with that. To further clarify the death.
Exodus 22 verse 28.
Con.
And thou shalt not rival the gods.
Revile.
Sorry, thou shalt not revile the gods.
What does that mean?
Right.
Don't disrespect the gods.
Right.
But who are the gods? Read from the top again.
Exodus 22 verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not revile the gods. That's right.
Someone in a position of governance.
Mm-hmm.
Someone in the power. And that's all that's talking about. That's what the word God means. It comes to the Most High. But as far as earthly rulership and governance from day to day, we know that that's the kings and prime minister or whatever people in authority that carry out day-to-day activities.
I mean, ultimately, the Most High is who sets up rulers, man.
Right.
82 and 6.
Can we say that maybe that what was the punishment for talking bad against Moses?
Miriam?
Yeah.
This-
Even
Right, right. Well, yeah, that was an example of of reviling the gods, reviling the rulers.
Right. All the princes that came against.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? The Most High set up people in authority.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even Samuel, even though Samuel wasn't alive long enough to see what happens to those who requested up kings. I'm saying, but they did when they questioned Samuel's authority as far as him setting up judges. I'm saying Israel paid the consequence for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Questioning his authority. They paid the consequence for that, even though Samuel's an old man and he probably died before a lot of it came to Elijah. Bald head, and the animals, the wild, came up and tore them up. Yeah, you know, all those examples of reviling, men of authority, men who the Most High put in a position of authority. You shouldn't revile it. That when the Most High said don't do it, I mean, there are consequences for going against what the Most High prohibit you from doing.
Right.
Doesn't go void.
Right. So that understanding that these gods are set up by the Most High. Right. Right. So we went through the chapter 5 through 8
Okay.
of Samuel's, and we got a lot of good information and of things that took part in those times. What we learned about the Philistines. What did they have? They had the ark, and what the Most High did? He cursed them for having that ark, man, to the point where they had to get rid of it. Nobody's supposed to have that ark that the Most High didn't tell touch it. Even Israel will get cursed if we deal with the ark the wrong way. All right. What else we went over? What else did y'all get out of Samuel? It's his first from 5 to 8.
Yeah, essentially, that was the interaction with the Philistines.
Yeah.
The interaction with the Philistines and the consequences of the Philistines. Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant.
How the Most High threw down Dagon. Right.
Right.
He threw down Dagon on his face. You know what I mean? That's why we Most High told us what? That's why we cast down these images, man. Right? Most High sent us out there to cast down these images because that's what he did. Okay. He threw Dagon right on his face, and when they picked him back up, they tried to reestablish him and stand him back up. He cut his head off and his hands. Right? And to this day, they feared the Most High that day. They never went back in there, against that with that idol. The Most High ain't playing. You go in there now, you're gonna lose your head in your hands, right? So he desecrated that false image of Dagon. Or take a look at 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 5. Avec verse 3. 2 Corinthians 10, verse 3.
Second Corinthians 10, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
For though we walk in the flesh,
right,
we do not war after the flesh.
Right. So we walking in the flesh, yes, we're in our bodies, but we don't fight a bodily fight or to serve or to appease this flesh when we fight. Read on.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal,
right,
but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds.
Right. So we don't physically pull down the strongholds, but we spiritually pull them down. We in the flesh, but we know our word is spirit. Right, read.
Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High.
Right. Every high thing that exalts itself against the Most High, we cast it down to the ground. Just like the Most High cast down Dagon. Right? He cast him down to the ground on his face. Right? So that's how we cast all these false idols. Right? But we do it in the spirit. We do it verbally. We do it, we don't have to go down there and start knocking stuff over. You know what I mean? They got all them damn idols around. We can't just start desecrating stuff physically, but with the spirit and with the mouth, we're going to bring it out. We're going to bring it out. Read on.
And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience.
Doing what the Yahweh said. Right? We had their mind into captivity. Captivity means we ain't going to let it go. And some people might say, why don't you just let it go? We can't let it go. We got to hold your mind in captivity. We can't let it go. To every obedience of the Most High. Right? Read.
And having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled.
There and get the people right. Everybody understand that? Right? We got to be ready to avenge all disobedience. We see disobedience, we're supposed to bring it out. But we got to make sure that we being obedient when we do that. Or else we're going to heap coals on our own head. Okay, so we got to make sure that we up on ourselves. So that's what we do in the spirit, just like our father did, to Dagon. We do into all these idols in these last days, and being reminded that even if being an Israelite, it ain't just enough, right? Because they got the ark. The Israelites got the ark in Kajer in Kajerim. Right? And what happened? We ended up getting smoked. Because why? We were doing stuff with the ark that we weren't supposed to do. So when you get this knowledge, this wisdom to do what's right. It ain't just knowing you're an Israelite, but you, as an Israelite, we got to do what's right to be blessed in the sight of the Most High. All right. So I think that sums up what we got out of these 4 chapters ever. At this time, do you usually set up the prayer? Any questions or anything in Samuel's or anything we went over? All right. Omar.
I was thinking, what you just read, I said, it's like, if we regenerated or reincarnated and stuff like that, right? Our spirits are regenerated or reincarnated. It's like, I was trying to figure why would so our spirits are regenerated instead of the same soul to do the same thing over and over.
Not do the same thing, right?
Because the unit is doing the same thing from Genesis, even straight up to Samuel, rebelling and not doing what commanded us and asked us to do.
Right. So it's like merciful and kind and long suffering. You know what I'm saying? So he's merciful, kind, and long suffering. So he's gonna keep giving us a chance. But then he also now in this time, he gave us, he was so merciful, he gave us his son. He said, listen, they ain't gonna get this right. I'm gonna give my son as that sacrifice, that through him they can get right. Because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be never able to get right. Right?
That's what I thought about it for a few months, like that's exactly what I thought because after him
Yeah.
and after the judgment, it ain't no more. Yeah, right. It's gonna be his nation, his way.
That's right. That's what he told us in Jeremiah 31. He said, we're not going to teach no more. All this work is going to be over with. It's going to be in our inward parts from this point, from that point forward. So we're not going to have to be struggling to keep the commandments, questioning and wondering, and Satan getting the upper hand in our spirit sometime. That's all going to be a thing of the past, man. I said, right now we're still struggling, but that's going to be a thing of the past. All praise to the Most High. All right, so with that, I'm going to say, Amadyam, Bupanya, Yerushalayim, stand and face Jerusalem. Psalms 133. Set up Psalms 133. Everybody get it? We're going to read it together. Psalms 133. And it's a blessing to the Most High for giving us this time to come together and open up the Shabbat day in divine fashion. I'm going to blow the shofar and we're going to set up the psalm.
Shayar,
Shiyar,
Hama Ailwa,
Hama'alwath,
Ladawar,
Ladawar,
Hana,
Hana,
Ma, Tawab,
Tawab,
Wama,
Wama,
Na'ayam,
Nayam,
Shabbath,
Shabbat,
Akyam,
Akim,
Gam,
Gum,
Yakar,
Yakar,
Kashaman,
Ashaman,
Atawab,
Atawab,
Ail, Ash,
Hara'ash,
Yarad,
Yarad,
Ail,
Ayel,
Azakwan,
Azakwan,
Zakwan,
Zakwan,
Aharan,
Aharan,
Shayarad,
Shayarad,
Ail,
Ayel,
Paya,
Paya,
Madawatyawa,
Madawathiwa,
Katal,
Katal,
Karamwan,
Karamwan,
Shayarad,
Shayarad,
Ail,
Ayel,
Araria,
Hararia,
Tasayawan,
Tazawan,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Sham,
Sham,
Tazawa,
Tazawa,
Yahawa,
Ahawa,
Ath,
Ath,
Abaraka,
Abraka,
Kaya